like he was like, I can hear your computer, I can hear your PC, like it's whirring, it's making a noise, I can hear it.
That's the exact type of roommate that I would want to with so hard. It was a good memory. It was a core memory.
That's a very specific core memory.
Yeah, and I was convinced that one of them or both of them were dying or were going to be dead.
It's like a bubonic plague whoopee cushion.
A bubonic plague. And you're just like, I visit you once a week. And,
yeah.
You know.
That's a
I
very,
dance
a very generous time period you've given yourself.
Yeah, dude. I'm glad we're doing this. Dude, Mel was super simpy because we were doing the podcast.
Super simpy because we were doing the podcast?
Yeah, because she wanted to stay. She wanted to stay, but because, like, I'm working technically, she didn't want to feel like she's intruding and just, you know, like, she's like, oh, I want you to have your space, and, like, I feel like I should be working if you're working. So I was just like, damn, you know. I was like, and then we were outside just, you know, I was wishing her goodbye on the driveway, and I was like, if there's a way that we can, like, get Ian fired so we could do this podcast on, like, Wednesdays or something. And we started devising ways to do it. I was like, I've got ideas.
I'm going to get thrown under the bus.
that was my way out. I was like, it's not me, babe.
It's Ian.
It's clearly it's this guy, dude.
Yeah.
But it's nice. It's nice to be. This is the very first pod that we've done.
Yeah.
Not in the office.
It's comfy.
It is. It is cool, especially with the warm fire behind us.
Mm-hmm. I can feel the heat on the back of my neck.
I can feel all those OLED pixels just dancing on on the hairs of my neck. Those light emitting diodes. Dude, what are you doing for Christmas? Are you going to be with family and stuff?
I did Thanksgiving with family.
Yeah.
And due to work schedule stuff, I'm probably going to be sticking around for Christmas. So
yeah.
I think I'm probably going to be with Mike's family for Christmas.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I know they're doing something for Christmas Eve and stuff.
Yeah.
I won't be around, but that's
they do
cool.
it up large.
Yeah, they do. Yeah. Did you do all your Christmas gift shopping already? Knocked out?
No.
If you did any?
No, I used to be pretty good at that, and now I just leave it to the very last minute, and I just go on Amazon and I just fire off.
I don't know how anyone doesn't use Amazon for 100% of their gift shopping now.
I mean, it's
crazy to go to a mall in December.
Going to a mall
in LA,
is
insanity.
It really is. It's like if you're in a frame of mind where you voluntarily go to a mall.
Yeah.
During December, you probably need Thorazine.
I'm guessing that's like was that Xanax or something?
I remember specifically this advertisement, pretty old advertisement for Thorazine.
Mm-hmm.
And it just had a picture of an old guy with a cane doing this. And
like
it said, Thorazine for prompt control of elderly agitation. Something like that. It's like a chemical straitjacket.
Okay, right. Yeah, for it's like a tranquilizer for
pretty much
for the elderly. Yeah, I think if you shop at the mall for gifts during the holidays, you just do it for the love of the game. Like there's something about you as a person that just enjoys the crowds, and like that's part of the experience for you. Like that's part of Christmas. It doesn't feel like Christmas unless you're just drowning in chaos.
I don't think a lot of people like crowds the way they used to. I think COVID changed that.
Yeah, and it felt like he was even building towards that even pre-COVID,
mm-hmm.
where it was just like crowds just got a lot more like rowdy, and like Black Fridays just became more increasingly like violent. And just savage.
Black Friday was sort of like, it was almost like the Super Bowl, but instead of like going, oh, I can't wait for Super Bowl ads, you go, I can't wait for people just getting into into riots for over TV deals at Best Buy.
Yeah, you started to enjoy the viral videos of just some chick like trying to pry a TV from some poor child's fingers, more so than the actual deals that you were getting over the weekend. It wasn't even about the deals anymore.
I don't even go in for Black Friday or Cyber Monday. Like I never even pay attention to it, and I feel like it probably does me more good than harm.
Right. Okay, hear me out though.
Yeah.
One area where Black Friday and Cyber Monday kick ass is when you're buying gifts for other people for Christmas. Because then it's like it's easier to justify like spending money on like the people you love more so than yourself.
Yeah.
You know, for I think most of us, it's cool. It's like
because you can go, okay, this would be a $200 purse, but I'm getting it for $100.
Literally that. Like a gift that I was planning to buy that I did buy my parents for Christmas. I was like, that's kind of pricey though. And then they had a Black Friday deal. I was like, score. Like I'm all about that.
Okay.
But when it's for me, it's like I already have all the shit I need. Black Friday, all those deals are just going to force me to buy something that I don't really need.
It does. It doesn't force you, but it really pushes.
It pushes you. You don't need that
pushes
influence.
you. It pushes you so hard because you're like, oh, these savings are so great, and it's like I've wanted this for a while, and then it's a slippery slope right into cha-ching.
Right. Exactly. Before you know it, you're in debt.
I did buy something on a Black Friday sale
this year
or Cyber Monday.
What'd you grab?
A pair of shoes.
Oh,
they were
practical.
Actually, very practical. Work shoes.
Nice.
And they were $80 or so instead of $140 or something.
Oh, that's huge. That's actually really solid.
And I was like, okay, I'll go for it because
nice.
My current work shoes are moist stinky, and I need to retire them.
That's bad when you can't even like spray them out.
Yeah.
Like, dude, spray has no effect. Was not super effective.
What kind? Oh, like the kind of spray they spray in
deodorizing, like stuff at the bowling alleys.
Where do you find that spray outside of a bowling alley?
Just Amazon.
Oh, good point.
A deodorizer for foot, dude.
We're not sponsored by Amazon, but we should be.
You could probably Everything that we used to make this podcast was bought on Amazon. Really? Literally everything.
Yeah. Okay, I believe it.
Literally everything. Yeah. I'm looking around. Everything.
The lights,
the camera, and
tripods.
the action.
I don't think you can buy this kind of action on Amazon.
This action's on Prime, baby. Yeah, dude. Amazon is the way. It is the way for it's made the holidays bearable. It really has.
That's true.
It's
I
crazy.
remember going to. Oh man, that was a rough time. I think it was like 2009 or something.
Yeah. And
I went to Walmart because I had like $40 to buy Christmas presents for like multiple people.
Yeah.
And I just was having such a bad time, like trying to find things, and I have not relived that kind of frustration and anxiety.
Right.
Because now Amazon is like, ta-da.
Yeah.
And it's
so easy. It's too easy.
It's too easy. It's scary easy.
But that being said, I still do enjoy trying to find the perfect gift for someone.
Yes.
Like really trying to find, and I think you're very good at this too. Like being able to identify a person's needs and giving them something to help that area of their life that you see lacking a bit.
I tend to be very practical in that regard.
Yes.
So it's harder for me to find a gift that really reflects like emotional thoughtfulness.
You buy someone deodorant. Thanks,
yes.
Dick.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's I honestly, if I had a really good friend who just had like stank pits, I would be like, I bought you the deodorant that I use because it doesn't stain your undershirts, and it doesn't leave greasy residue on your armpit, and you don't even know you're wearing it, and it just works.
Most guys appreciate that. Like you can give a gift like that to a guy friend, he's like, I'll actually use this. Yeah. And you give it to a girl though, it's like you're calling me out. You're outing me.
Not only that, but girls have, as far as I can tell, they have a very specific mindset about their cosmetic situation. And I think as basic as it is, antiperspirant or deodorant can play into that.
Right.
So
don't buy your girlfriend deodorant.
There are many reasons not to do that. The simplest is just common sense.
Yeah.
But yes, probably don't do that unless she's like dropping you hints that you have a secret deodorant that you won't share with her, and she's like, I'm just gonna get really stanky until you share that with secret recipe with me.
That's fair. What's like the best Christmas gift you've ever gotten, even as a kid or whatever?
Like received?
Yeah, received.
Oh, well, that's a tough one.
Made the biggest impact, most memorable. You're like, yes. It's what I always wanted. I'll go first and I'll let you think about it.
Okay, go ahead.
It was this I was like, I don't know, 9 or 10 or something, and there was this toy on the market, really popular toy. You saw commercials for it everywhere, called Commando Bot.
Mm-hmm.
And it was basically just a voice controlled robot that would roam around and you could order it to do things. And it had like these plastic missiles that it would shoot on your voice command.
That sounds awesome.
The commercial was like, for a 9-year-old kid.
Oh yeah,
it was everything. I was like, I want a Commando Bot. That's the only thing I ever told my mom I wanted that year, and she got me the Commando Bot. I opened it. My mind was blown. Worst piece of shit in existence. The voice commands in 2001 or I don't know, like 1999.
Yeah,
were so trash, dude. It was so trash. Like, it's like the typical, like when you're on the phone with like the automated thing, you're like, all right, yes, I'd like to proceed. It's like, or like call Mel. It's like calling Michael. Like, it just got confused constantly. And
did you ever get a Furby?
It was so slow. No, I never got a dude. Who was Furby for? I never knew what was the target demographic
CIA?
for Furby. The little built-in cameras. It looked like a nanny cam or something, or.
It actually got banned from federal facilities because it would do this thing where it would like randomly record audio and then play it back later.
Oh, wow.
So it was like if you had a Furby in a secure area,
it would parrot shit.
Yeah.
It would parrot like confidential
codes,
passcodes and stuff.
Who knows what. But it was almost like
really
the exploding Galaxy Note that got banned from planes.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yep. Not quite as explosive, literally.
Right.
But it definitely caused some waves.
Yeah. Why would a Furby even be in that environment?
Because your kid got you a Furby and you took it to work.
Took it to work?
I don't know.
Some dudes in the FBI were taking Furbies to work?
Apparently. Some letter agencies or something. I don't know.
That's a big sign of a bigger problem. What was your question?
What was the fate of the Commando Bot?
It eventually just got left on the shelf because it was so slow. You'd be like, all right, move forward, and it would march forward, and it was like, the slowest, like a snail crawling. I mean, it was like 1990s technology for kids' toys, and the commercials got me. The commercials really got me.
Were they on Nickelodeon?
Probably.
Yeah.
Nickelodeon.
Dude,
CBS
okay.
Kids.
I have this. Here's the thing. I grew up without watching TV.
Yeah.
Until I was in my late teens.
Right.
I also grew up without Christmas until I was in my late teens.
Wait, I thought your family was religious, though.
Christmas was considered
the devil.
It was considered a pagan holiday.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
I always forget like how extreme your upbringing was.
So I did not do Christmas until I was in my late teens.
Was that with your family?
With my family, yeah.
Okay, so they somehow just switched over. They're like, all right, Christmas is cool now.
Basically.
They're like, we were a little harsh on the no Christmas thing.
Yeah.
You guys should get some gifts.
I think they were like, okay, we can see the appeal of this holiday that
we can see why you as a child would want to be able to open copious amounts of gifts once a year. All the things you asked for.
Yeah.
We will concede.
I think they saw the value of it as a family thing.
Yeah.
And I don't think they ever really fully bought into the whole like it conflicts with our faith kind of thing.
Okay.
And so once they were outside of that influence, they were just like, okay, well we can make this a wholesome thing.
Do you like, okay, so if it was their kind of your family's first time celebrating Christmas, was it like kind of janky? Like were your first Christmases with your family kind of like no one knew how to do it? Like there was some like weird growing pains with it?
My parents had Christmas when they were growing up.
All right, yeah.
So it wasn't like they had never done it before.
Yeah.
It was just a learning process. Like,
right.
If you all of a sudden start celebrating a holiday that most people have just dialed in, like, it's a routine.
Of course.
There's some growing pains, just like figuring out the routine and figuring out how to take care of a Christmas tree.
Yeah.
They're needy.
They are. Like they are very thirsty.
They are thirsty, and if you don't keep them watered, they catch on fire and all this other stuff.
Oh, jeez.
Dude.
And if you have cats, it's even worse.
Yeah, have your cats gotten into that yet?
They've been surprisingly chill with this one, but I think it's because we got them that blanket and they're just glued to it.
That blanket is like kitty crack.
It is kitty crack, and it's also a Christmas tree saver, you know? But in years prior, anytime I've had a tree, the boys always climbed in it, we've lost some ornaments, you know, some of the
knocked
glass.
it over?
Not the tree, but the ornaments for sure.
Okay.
Some casualties there. But, because like I was saying, like it's just a Christmas tree is just a giant cat toy.
Yes.
That's basically all it is.
And it smells good. It
smells good.
It's useful for the humans too.
Cats, you know, cats are carnivores, but they also like to munch on plants. They do like to munch.
Do they munch on the tree? I can't imagine it because
maybe not the tree as much.
They just want to climb. They just want to climb up high on it.
Yeah, they just see it as a ladder. It's a playground.
And then it falls over.
But you know, like all the other plants in my house are fake because the cats will
extremely
try
dead.
to eat it, or extremely dead. Actually, no, they're
like that wheat is not real. That's like real wheat, but it's like super dried out.
I think it's fake.
I think it's real.
No, it's not. I bought it on Crate and Barrel. It came shipped in a piece of plastic.
I think
the wheat that's right there.
Yes.
Do you think that could be? Do you think it would hold up like that? It's because it's been there for like 2 years, 3 years.
If it's real and it's dried.
It's like preserved.
It's preserved essentially.
Oh, really?
That's my thinking. I could take a closer look at it and be like, oh yeah, this is fake as hell. Okay. But to your original question,
here I'm going to bring it right now.
Oh, okay. You can do the test. Bring me the wheat.
This one, right?
Yeah, that's. Is
that real?
It's not wheat. It looks like wheat from a distance, but it's very real.
Is it really real?
Yeah, man, totally.
I didn't know you could just have wheat like that for like years, and it would just, if it's dried, it's.
Well, it's like I don't know if it's wheat. It's like a really poofy thing. Maybe it is. I don't know what a head of wheat looks like.
Wheat looks more like, you know, it's all the way from top to bottom. It's not just
it's consistent grains across. the entire thing. But yeah, I can look at this and say it's real because looking at this joint, I can see that that's an organic thing. It's all made of cellulose and lignin. It's not plastic.
Interesting. So I guess I can't have plants in the house. They just have to be completely dead.
Yes, like this has no aroma or flavor or anything that's going to attract the attention of the cats.
It smells like dust.
Yeah. Okay, that's an interesting choice, but can't argue with it. You know. So, it's
already dead.
I've been trying to remember, and I think my answer would be my favorite Christmas present that I ever got.
Yeah,
was an infrared camera.
Mm.
It was a little module that it would attach to my cell phone.
From your parents?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It would attach to my cell phone, and then I have an app that would pull power from the phone to power the camera, and it was like a little infrared camera.
How old were you? If you had a cell phone already, you're probably
I was like in my early 20s.
Oh, okay, early 20s, yeah.
Yeah.
So I guess that makes sense because you started celebrating Christmas a lot later, like when you were a teenager already.
Yes.
That makes sense. Yeah.
And that was I didn't often have a lot of specific like Christmas present requests.
Yeah.
And I did get a lot of cool Christmas presents, but that was like one that I specifically requested, and I thought it was cool, and I still think it was cool.
Yeah.
And I had a lot of fun just discovering
the heat maps of certain things and the heat properties.
Like when I first got it.
Oh, it's infrared, so it's not heat. It's not a.
It's heat.
It is heat.
So it's like with that camera, if you walked barefoot across the floor, I could take a look at it 20 seconds later and see your footprints on the floor.
That's pretty cool.
Or what I did was I was like, I looked at the floor and I was like, there's all these warm spots.
Yeah.
That's where the hot water, for the house is running
underneath.
Is piped under the floor.
Yeah.
That explains why these tiles are always warm.
Gotcha.
Like if my family had cats, they would always be sleeping on those tiles
interesting.
Because they were always warm.
Yeah.
The most interesting thing that I discovered with that camera was, and I don't remember if I discussed this before, but there's this particular plant that has these big white banana-looking flowers, and they're actually they're actually warm. They're like toasty. They're like about 100 degrees or more.
What?
Yeah.
The plant is 100 degrees?
The flower is.
The flower.
So,
Like,
okay.
it'll burn you if you touch it then?
They won't burn you, but if you grab it, if you put your hand on it, it feels like somebody who has a fever almost.
No way.
So
100 degrees is crazy.
it is. And so this goes back to back in the day, I went to Disneyland in Disney World in Florida.
Uh-huh.
And I was pretty young. I don't know, 8 or 9 maybe.
Yeah.
So I made some very specific memories. And you know how like smell can be really a really strong association
Yeah.
or trigger for memories.
Yeah.
One of the number one smell that I associated with Disney World was the smell of these flowers because they're these tropical plants.
Yeah.
And I was a little kid running around Disney World, and I was like, "Hey, this is a cool plant. Hey, I've never seen a flower like that. It's like this big white banana thing."
Yeah.
So I would touch it, and then the smell of it would get on my hands, and it was like this really, to my nose, very like perfumey and peppery, like almost like black pepper smell.
Yeah.
And I didn't see those plants again for years.
Mm-hmm.
And then I finally ran into them.
Smelled it.
I smelled it. Actually, I smelled it first. I was like, I recognize that smell.
That's crazy.
And it was like in some landscaping in a mall.
Yeah.
And I went up to it and I was like, yes, this is definitely the plant. And it was actually flowering. That's why I smelled it.
Right.
I happened to have that infrared camera with me because it was just like, it had this really compact carrying case.
Okay.
So I like to just keep it in my car or carry it with me.
Yeah.
Because sometimes I like to look at things that I'm like, I want to see this.
You're a curious creature.
In a different, visible,
different
not
lens.
the visible spectrum of light. I want to see in an infrared spectrum of light. So I looked at it through this infrared camera, and I was like, it actually was telling me the temperature of things. It was like this flower is like 103 degrees or something crazy.
Damn.
Because it was like glowing red hot, basically on a background of cold, dark things.
Yeah.
And so I looked it up, and I looked up this plant, and it's a very there are not very many plants that metabolize energy in a way that they create like
that much heat
or even just create that much energy and use it for such a purpose. So the reason it's apparently it's, if I remember correctly, it's similar to the way that humans burn fat for energy.
Mm-hmm.
But this plant does it specifically when it has a flower, and it heats up the whole flower.
Yeah.
So that the volatile chemicals on the flower will evaporate off and get into the air and attract the beetles that they want. Because the flower smells like beetle pheromones.
Interesting.
So a bunch of horny beetles come and show up and crawl all over the flower and transfer pollen.
Yeah. Interesting. That's pretty cool. So I was going to say, like, all that heat must attract some kind of life form.
Yes.
For its benefit.
Yes.
That's pretty cool.
And yeah, that's because that's like a key point of its reproductive cycle.
I bet a lot of cats get stuck in those trees because they like the warm.
I don't know if that a cat would cuddle up to that because it's just like a hot banana.
I feel like my cats would get down with the hot banana.
Microwave a banana, throw it on the couch.
We'll experiment. We'll do it on the next episode. I'll microwave a banana and see which of my cats get to it first. The girl would just snuggle up with that banana. Yeah,
they probably would. They're bizarre, spoiled, and fat creatures.
Yeah,
full of entitlement.
They're heat hoes, dude.
Yes,
they follow the heat so hard.
Yes, if that were a real fire, they would just be lying.
Yeah.
As close to it before their fur got singed.
I wonder if there's any cats that are like so addicted to heat they just like jumped into a fire. They're like, dude, this is peak comfort. Mm-hmm. And then they cross that line. They go too far. And then
I did see a video of a cat being very hoity-toity and like, I'm a cat.
Yeah.
I'm hot shit.
Like the Leonardo meme.
It basically imagine a cat jumping up on this table here. Mm-hmm. Your candle is lit.
Yeah.
And this cat has a big floofy furry tail.
Okay.
That gets over the candle and catches on fire.
Yeah.
This cat,
he's happy.
His whole ass tail burned down. And it was just confused. It was just mildly like nonplussed.
He's like, I smell burning, but also this feels good.
I don't. Yeah, I was like, that's gotta hurt. Like, how is that not hurting the cat? Why is it not freaking out? It was just like,
damn,
something's weird happening back there, but I'm not too worried about it.
Maybe someone dipped, like maybe the guy who recorded the video dipped the cat's tail in like rubbing alcohol, so it's just burning all that. You know?
No, it was burning the fur.
It was burning the fur.
It was burnt. It burnt the fur off.
Dude. So I mean, at some point, it had to have either burned the cat's like skin or it
Right.
just
That's what I figured.
extinguished itself somehow.
I don't. Yeah. I don't. It was very strange. I thought it was hilarious.
Yeah.
But it was at the same time I was like, why is this cat not freaking out? I mean, maybe that's a cartoon thing that cats freak out when their tails are on fire.
Well,
but
it's weird. Like cats are weird like that because they will freak out. Like they won't freak out over certain things, but then they will freak out over the stupidest things.
Oh, yeah, that's fair.
You know, like you walk in with like I don't know, like the sound of a weed whacker, and like it just like it triggers them, and they go ape shit. But then you know,
Or a vacuum.
or vacuum, dude, vacuum. Like they are in like my vacuum is their arch nemesis.
It really is. It's like the final boss of the house.
It really is. And I have to wonder. I always wonder, like, what are they thinking when anytime I'm vacuuming the house? Because
why are you consorting with this
why
monster?
am I dancing with their greatest enemy? And what am I doing with it? What business do I have with this evil beast?
You have a sick fetish.
Yeah. They really
the
think I'm
only
a sick
reason.
puppy.
That's the only reason you would be around that
They
thing.
do think I'm deranged. They must cats must think humans are insane. Right?
Yeah.
Because like if that vacuum is like the devil, and you're just like I visit you once a week. And,
Yeah.
You know.
That's a
I
very,
dance
gen-
with- I
it's
dance
a very
with the devil.
generous time period you've given yourself.
Even less so right now. Even more so right now because my vacuum stopped working.
Oh,
So-
well, when was the last time you changed the bag?
Oh, funny story. Great vacuum story. I was vacuuming.
Does it suck?
It does suck. Actually, it doesn't suck. We'll get to that. I went to vacuum the other day. Actually, I went to change the bag because I was like,
Yes.
I bet the vacuum bag is full. And so I opened the front of the vacuum.
Let me guess. A fountain of kitty litter poured out.
So the bag had detached from the nozzle.
Yep.
And so everything I'd been vacuuming for the last like 4 months probably was just in the
Yep.
chamber.
Yep.
It wasn't in the bag. It was all out of the bag.
Yes.
And so yes, kitty litter everywhere. I mean just like fur, dust, everything.
You were warned about this specific scenario.
Yeah, and I ignored all warnings as I do. And so I literally had to take the vacuum out in the porch, and took a broom, and I was just like jabbing it in the chamber of the vacuum, like just dusting it out, basically. But now the vacuum doesn't work. Like I replaced the bag, and I replaced the HEPA filter, and there's no suction. Like it turns on, it still works just the same, but there's no suction for some reason. I don't know what I did, but
The
I
cat's
got a
finally
call.
won.
The cat's finally won, and they've been really happy that I have not been in cahoots with the vacuum. And like
You could always fire up the Roomba.
I could fire up the Roomba. I mean, the vacuum is a good vacuum.
It is. Like
Meow
you
or
don't
whatever.
want to sleep on that. You want to get it repaired.
Yeah, that's the type of vacuum you get repaired, for sure. So I'll fix it, and the cats will be sad again. They'll be scared, but
They don't seem bothered by the Roomba though.
they don't. I don't think it's loud enough.
No.
It doesn't make a vicious enough hiss
Yeah.
like the meow.
Yeah. That much suction creates a lot of high pitched hissing noises that
Yeah.
cats just
Yeah, or like
Don't
any
like.
like a if I Febreze the house,
Mhm.
that just
Oh yeah.
they go wild. They're like no.
They
Absolutely
do,
not.
They do not like
Or
it.
like the guitar, like my guitar, like if I
Mhm.
just like pluck a guitar string, the vibrations
Really?
they go bolt out. Like one little bang, they're done. They're
Dude, you should
over
make
it.
a tripwire for your threshold of your room.
That'd be sick. Just a
guitar wire.
string.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mission Impossible guitar strings everywhere. Like little laser guitar strings.
Yeah,
That'd be pretty
they
cool.
can't if they go in, they're gonna make it. They're gonna make it.
Yeah, they'll
trip,
sound. Yeah, they'll sound the alarm.
and then beat a quick retreat.
Yeah, or like what I could just do is like keep the vacuum, attach the vacuum to like a motion sensor, and so anytime they go near it, it just turns on.
Yeah, but then every
Um,
time you walk in your room, it turns on.
Yeah, but that's fine. I could turn it off real quick.
Yeah,
I'm not deathly afraid of the vacuum, so
no, you're
it's not as big of a problem for me.
So now, because your vacuum does not suck, it's just a cat scaring device.
It really is, yeah. Yeah. It's a good cat trainer, I suppose. But
give me one example of a way in which you've trained your cats, other than to seek food and affection.
they're untrainable, dude. They're untrainable.
They've trained you.
They have, yeah. Like, and I'm hardly trainable. But like they've got me on a schedule. You know, like I wake up in the morning, I feed them.
Mm-hmm.
In the evening, I feed them again. I give
Carry them to their food.
I will carry them to their food. I've been carrying the boy because he's been glued to that blanket that he's been on for the last week. And the girl is just look at the girl. She's on the dining table right now with her fat. She could hardly move her body. She's so overweight. I'm sorry, body positive. Like I bought her cat toys. Mel's bought her cat toys. She doesn't play with any of them because that requires physical interaction.
The most effort you can get out of her is a good taunting with a laser.
Yeah.
Or like a stringy thingy just bouncing.
Right.
Constantly. And even then she's just like, eventually she gets tired.
Yeah.
After like a good 2 minutes,
right.
She's like, okay, I put out all my effort.
Sometimes I'll just chase her around the house with a vacuum just to get her to exercise.
Will you really?
No. That'd be really funny, though. That'd be real funny.
That would actually be really funny. I'm sure that would get you in trouble, but it would be quite humorous.
Am I helping her or hurting her?
I mean, ultimately, your cat, she's a dangerous level of thickness.
Yeah.
To her own health.
Yeah. I was talking about this the other day. I was like, with Mel, I was like, if my cats were in the wild, or I was talking about it with someone, if my cats were in the wild, the girl would not last 1 week.
No.
She would exhaust all 9 lives in the first 48 hours.
Yep.
And it's funny, though, because the boy, even though he's much more athletic than the girl and much more of a skilled hunter, he's the bigger puss by far.
So he would cower.
He would cower and probably
hide.
The girl would wreck in a fight in a street cat fight.
Mm-hmm.
She would wreck because she's got balls. She's got bigger balls than the boy.
But does she have the endurance?
I think it's just the viciousness. There's something like mental in her. Like she's kind of crazy.
Like there's a little bit of pit bull in there.
A little bit. She's a little pit bull where it's like she lays it down. And I think some of the mass helps to a degree.
Yeah.
Like it's like a fat bully at school. Like they're not athletic, but they could still squash you.
And just sit on you.
Like that's what the girl would do. And then she would eat her opponent, you know.
Yeah. Starting with the face.
But like I remember back in the day when this is probably like 2-3 years ago, I woke up in the middle of the night, I was sleeping, it was like 3 a.m. to the most blood-curdling sound of one of the cats screeching. And I was convinced that one of them or both of them were dying or were going to be dead.
Yeah.
In a matter of seconds. I've never heard that sound before. So I ran out, like half asleep. I'm like, what the fuck? It's so loud. And it's coming from here. And I'm all the way down the hall, last bedroom. And it's so loud. And I turn on all the lights. Like, what the fuck is going on? And they're just like, meow, meow, meow. Like, they're just like, nothing happened. And I'm like, what's going on? And they seem totally normal. It's all fine. I'm like, what the was that?
Just banshee screaming for no reason.
Fast forward like 2 or 3 weeks. It's daytime now. I'm in my room in the office, and I hear the same screaming. It's alarming, dude. So I run out again, and this time, because it's daytime, I can see outside. I can see outside these windows, and there's a big just ignore it. She's a lost cause. And there's a big orange cat, a neighbor's cat, right outside the window. And the girl is screaming at the cat. And not only that, she's lunging at the window, like creating all kinds of marks on the window.
Bouncing off the glass.
Bouncing, like these are huge glass panels, and they're thick. They're double paned. She's making them shake as she's jumping at them with her obese body. Just making it. Meanwhile.
Just pure rage.
Pure rage, dude. Like she's defending her territory. And I'm like, good for you, girl. Meanwhile, the boy is cowering under the dining table. He is crying. He's crouched down in the smallest position. Just meow, meow. And the girl's like, wow, like UFC fighter in the octagon. I'm like, dude, like she's a survivor, but she just doesn't have the physique.
Yeah.
Or
she has
skills.
the willpower to take the fight to the enemy, but she doesn't give a crap about anything until those instincts kick in.
Exactly. Yeah. When it's like they both, like the boy and the girl, they kind of need each other. They're both half a cat.
Yeah.
They would need each other in the wild to really survive. They would really lean on each other a lot. Alone, they're dead. Alone, they're totally dead. But
together, they could stand a chance.
Just maybe.
Let's not put it to the test.
It'd still probably die, but still die pretty quick. It'd last a little longer.
Some people who have outdoors cats will put cameras on their cats.
Yeah, I always wanted to do that.
It's fun. It's fun to watch.
I've never.
You can't do it yourself.
Camera. What do you mean?
Well, these are not outdoor cats.
Oh yeah. No, I mean it's been a really long time. It's been like over a year since I let them outside. Mm-hmm. They used to be semi-outdoor.
Yeah.
Well, when I first got them, they were outdoor most of the day.
Huh.
When I would go to work at Newegg, they were outdoor all day.
No way.
Yeah, because at the time I was renting a room for like $500 a month in some like shit frat house that, it was just a shit show. And I lived in a 10 by 10 shoebox of a room.
Oh, okay.
And I was like, I can't leave these cats in here 8 hours a day.
Right.
That's insane.
Right.
So, and I found them astray. So I'm like, they're kind of used to the streets. So I would just kick them out while I was at work. And then when I would come back, they would see me pull up and they'd be like, oh, that's where the food's at. And so
they'd be waiting for you.
They'd be waiting for me, or they'd be nearby and they'd be hungry. So like they would just come in and they would sleep with me overnight. Like they were with me indoors anytime I was home. And when I was at work, they were outdoors. But as I got more comfortable with them and as years went by and I got my own place and I got a bigger place, I let them stay indoors more and more.
Yeah.
So when I moved in here, I would let them out maybe like 3 to 5 times a week, like pretty often, just for like a couple hours at a time, just to get some sun, some grass, because that's what they're used to or whatever. And then one night, the boy got out, don't know how he got out. He just escaped. And then I realized I heard meowing at the door, the kitchen door. Mm-hmm. I opened it. I'm like, what the f*** are you doing out? It was like nighttime. It was like 11 p.m. And he comes in. He's filthy. I've never seen him so filthy. And I start petting him, and he starts growling, which I never in my life have I ever heard him growl. And I was like, that's weird. I kind of inspect him. He's got this big gash, this bloody gash on his leg. Oh. And he's in pain, dude. He's hurting. So rushed him to the urgent care animal facility. Was there till like 5 a.m. He had gotten bit by something nasty. And ever since then, and obviously it's like this area is like lots of wildlife.
Yes.
Especially at night. Coyotes, bears.
Dude, there's hella owls.
Insane.
Like, anytime you walk outside at night, you just hear owls.
And one of those will rough up a cat, just destroy a cat if they really wanted to. Like some of those are big. They're big.
Their talons are insane. Their beaks
sharp.
Are scary.
Yeah, they're predators for sure. So after that, since then, I started weaning off, especially because like the veterinarian bills for all that shit was just through the roof. Yeah, I was like, I can't even afford to let you guys outdoors, not in this area.
So they went full indoors about a year ago.
Full indoor about I'd say 2 years ago now.
Okay,
2 years ago now. Yeah, I didn't want to risk it. I'm like, they have enough space here. They're fine.
Yeah,
if it was a tiny little,
they're not lacking for room.
Yeah, but that was crazy. I'm like, it's wild to think like he could have just died that night. Mm-hmm. He could have easily died and just never come back, and I would have had no idea. I like what happened to him.
He just disappeared.
Yeah, that happens all the time. People's pets run away. They get out and like they never see him again. Dude, that would drive me insane.
That would bum me out.
That would drive me insane. Like I would every once in a while be just showering or reading a book and be like, whatever happened to my cat?
Yeah,
Yeah, that would stick with you for the rest of your life
for sure.
So,
I've never had to go through that. I'm grateful.
Yeah, me too.
Because that would be like, not to mention like just like a pet, but like having a loved one just disappear. Dude. and you never know whatever happened to them. Yeah. Like there's no closure.
No closure.
That's got to be super, super difficult.
So maddening, so depressing. So yeah, after that I was like, I'm not risking this again. I don't care. I don't care. I was selfish. I was like, you guys are indoor for life now.
And now you just pamper them to death.
Yeah, they don't seem to mind. They're like, this
really
is where the food's at. I'm closer to the food. I'm closer to the warmth. Mm-hmm. And then also it's like they would run outside. When I would let them out, they'd like eat the grass outside.
And then come in here and puke it up?
Like specifically on this rug. They like this rug is like 10% of the flooring in this whole house. But
Yes.
they'd be like, they'd run all the way to the rug and like just run all the way to the rug from across the house and then just throw up on it and be like, barely made it.
There's something about
Oh, that was close. I almost missed.
something
I
about
almost
rugs.
missed the rug, dude.
It's just like target me,
Yeah,
target me
dude.
for your
I
accidents.
was like, anywhere else would have been fine. Anywhere else would have been so easy. And then sometimes they would like bring lizards and shit into the house.
oh, like an offering,
Pretty
like,
often.
Like, hey, I got you this lizard, or half a mouse, or
Yeah,
whatever.
exactly. I remember one time like my dad and his fiance at the time were over, or I don't know if it was them or some. I had company over, and the cats were outside, and whoever was over, they were like, "Oh, that's so sweet. That's so nice and cute that you like let your cats out. That's really cool that they can just be indoor and outdoor." I'm like, "Yeah, it is. It is pretty nice." And then within seconds of that conversation, one of the cats drags in a lizard that is like half eaten and it's like his tail is off. His like just no tail, and he's just bleeding out of his tail. And like the lizard's just running across the house, and the cat's chasing it and just batting it and with it, and everyone like is just like, oh my god, oh shit, this is
Everyone's
horrible.
horrified.
This is horrific. There's blood just being dragged throughout the house. I was like, yeah, all right, it's time to lock it up. It's time to lock it in. Got to shut it down.
Indoor kitties for life, and they're
Privilege is lost.
they're kind of old and sleepy, so might as well let them sleep.
Dude, they are getting old.
Did you just break off the stock in there?
No. Well, I did, but I managed to not get any of it in the bottle. So that's cool.
Way to go.
Dude, it is crazy. They are getting old.
How old are these
Getting
cats?
up there. They're like 11 or 12.
Okay,
That's pretty old for a cat.
that is.
They're seniors. They're senior citizens. They get discounts on tuna.
Okay, so the other week I went
Bagel.
in your fridge and I found these Chinese sausages.
The ones that Mel and I got, yeah.
Yeah, and you had said, "Hey, these sausages are really
They're
good."
Taiwanese sausages.
Okay, yeah.
It's different.
It is. It is. So I tried I tried one, right?
Yeah.
And I was eating it and I was like, this is really good. This is really like it has a really interesting flavor. It's almost like it has a sweet like pineapple juice kind of flavor in it.
Okay.
And then I was enjoying it and then I looked at the package and I was like, "Oh, these aren't pre-cooked." So I was eating a raw, like maybe
raw
cured.
saucies.
I guess they seem like they're semi-cured,
Yeah.
but
They definitely need to be cooked.
Uncooked pork sausage.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I stopped eating it.
Were you okay?
I didn't have I might have trichinosis now, but
no weird shits, no food
No,
poisoning or anything like that.
nothing.
Dude, okay, since it's the holidays, I'll tell this quick story. When I was a kid, I went over my stepdad's mom's house, and she would like cook crazy feast every year for Thanksgiving. And she had this one special dish that she would make, which was these cabbage rolls, pork cabbage rolls, I think.
Oh, nice. That
And,
sounds good.
Like it's like a classic, I don't know, German dish or something like that. But it was always so bomb. Like I'd had it years prior, always so good, always slapped so hard. But she was also like the wheels were starting to fall off a little bit, and she was getting older, and so she just like was getting a little more senile and like didn't cook it all the way through.
Yeah.
But as a kid, I was just sitting around all day. It's like it's kind of boring when there's no other kids around because I was like one of the only non-adults. Everyone's just chatting, and I'm just like a kid. I'm like hungry. I'm like, I want food. And they're like, no, it's not ready yet. You can just stop. And then finally, food gets on the table, and I just start scarfing this cabbage roll down. Right?
Yeah.
I'm so hungry, and it tastes pretty good. And then I look up. I remember this as a kid, looking up around the table of adults, and like everyone's just kind of like picking, like just kind of not really eating. They're just kind of like, it's quiet, and they're all just like picking at their food, not really eating. And I look around, and I look at my dish, and I look inside the pork, and it's just red. It's just raw. It's just raw pork. And I like, even as a kid, I'm like, that's not normal.
Right.
That's not good. And then somehow at that point, my mom's like, God, don't eat that, or so, I don't know. And I had the worst food. I mean, like I was like a Chinese finger trap. Shit was coming out of both sides. Both ends were just divulging loads of information. It was insane, dude. I had never experienced, as a kid, I'd never experienced food poisoning. That was the first time. And that was a good memory. It was a good memory. Is a core memory. Definitely.
That's a very specific core memory.
Yeah.
Man, I went to visit my grandparents as a kid, and we stopped on the way to their house. We stopped at a Wendy's.
Yeah.
And I had one bite of my burger, and I looked at it, and it was just like super red inside the patty. And I showed it to my mom, and I was like, "This isn't supposed to look like this, right?" She's like, "No, go, exchange it for a correct, get them to correct it."
Yeah, swap it out. Yeah.
So I did, but even that one bite was enough.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and so that night I woke up in the middle of the night, which is the worst. You wake up completely disoriented, in a completely unfamiliar place.
Oh, that's the worst. Being sick.
And vomit is coming in 3 seconds.
Oh God, yeah.
And so it was the best that I could do was just figure out, like, I was on the side of the bed and just shoot over the side of the bed so that I wasn't puking in the bed.
All right, you did what you could.
I did the best I could.
Yeah. Damn, dude.
I felt really bad about it.
Oh man.
Because it was carpet.
Yeah. Oh God.
Yeah.
Who f***s with carpet anymore? Like, if you
this
have
was
carpet in the house,
20 plus years ago.
it's like 90s. Like, of course, we wisened up as a species.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. The 70s. The 70s were like peak carpet.
Yeah.
Up through maybe like the
80s,
90s.
90s. Yeah. Definitely had a lot of carpet in the 90s, but at some point we wisened up. We smartened up.
Yeah.
We're like, no.
No more carpet in the bathrooms. That was the first step towards sanity.
God, dude, carpet in the bathrooms is wild.
Yeah.
That's wild.
I was looking at some pictures of Rick James, his house.
It's just carpeted toilet seats.
Everything was
probably
carpeted.
The toilet seat was carpeted.
Dude, it was. You should look that
Rick
up.
James.
It's actually pretty interesting.
Damn.
His house was ridiculous. It was like peak 70s.
Damn.
And it was like
just a 70s mansion.
It was wild. It was like custom carpet where you could tell like there was 2 different colors in the carpet where they had cut out these shapes and then cut other shape this corresponding shape of another color or texture, whatever carpet to insert in there.
Yeah. That's crazy, dude.
Place was wild.
This house was very 70s. I would say maybe 80s when I moved in.
Yeah.
It hadn't been touched. It was like a time capsule or something. Like you'd walk in, like that living room was just blue carpet, like ocean blue.
Ooh.
But then the bedroom, my master bedroom, was like mint green. It was like a mint and chip. Like this whole house, if you looked at it from like a helicopter view, aerial view, probably looked like the Baskin Robbins like assortment of like like the 13 flavors, just different colors in every one. That's what this house looked like. There was no uniformity. It was like there was tile in the bathroom, but it was like this nasty tile.
What about the paint colors?
The paint, same. I would say like there was beige in one room. Like the master bedroom had mint green walls to match the mint green. It was more of a forest green carpet. It was rough. It was rough. And then there was the office room has like brick against the back wall,
right? Because
it's a retaining wall since this house is on a hill. And so
which is pretty insane when you think about it, to have just like
cinder blocks.
One of the interior walls of your house is also an exterior wall.
Yes. No drywall, whatever. It's just cinder blocks.
Yeah.
And that was painted alternately, like from red, blue, red, blue, red, blue. It looked like Super Mario Brothers because it was also cinder blocked. So it looked like jail cell, but also multicolored. It looked.
I'm surprised they didn't add white in there. Make it red, white, and blue.
No, they weren't. I guess they weren't just patriotic.
Okay.
But whoever I bought this house from, never met them. Never met them because they were a really old couple. But that dude smoked hella weed.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Anytime, like when we were still closing escrow, or even like when we went to look at the house, like the real estate broker, the agent was always so embarrassed because we would walk in and literally it was like the guy had just taken 50 bong loads. It reeked so hard. And this is like an elderly couple. Like the reason they were moving out was because the wife had Alzheimer's and they needed to put her in a home.
Oh wow!
But this guy was just token all day, and the agent would be like, "Oh yeah, he's got some medical. He was in the army. He's got some medical marijuana." I'm like, "Sure, whatever." I mean, I don't preaching to the choir.
Yeah,
but it was just funny. But I did kind of care because I was like, "Is this house gonna smell like weed forever?"
Which it doesn't.
Well, we ripped out every shred of carpet and we repainted all the walls.
Okay.
That gets rid of everything.
That did do it.
But it was funny. It was just like it was almost like a sign from the gods.
So
like,
so was everything carpeted?
Everything except there was some like the
except the kitchen. I
the
guess
kitchen and dining area was tiled as well as the bathrooms.
Okay.
Everything else was pretty
A
carpeted.
small concession to sanity.
Yes. Yep. Yeah.
So
it was pretty wild.
I don't like carpet, but I also like not getting out of bed and stepping on a really cold floor.
Rugs, baby. Rugs.
Yoga mats.
What? Yoga mat. I mean, that's like the poor man's rug, I guess.
I don't know. I like the squishiness of a yoga mat.
That's just so weird to like have a yoga mat right at the foot of your bed. Like in the middle of the night when I go take a piss, I'm like, I always want to do some downward dog right in between.
No, I just like the texture, man. It's a
Isn't it like just
thing.
what, like a foam? Like it's like a foam.
Yeah, it's a nice squishy foam. It's almost like an anti-fatigue mat, but just a little bit more thin.
Okay.
But they're not chillingly bone chilling cold like
right.
a cold hard floor.
They're not as warm as a rug or a carpet, but they are more padded.
Yes.
It's squishy.
Yes.
So it's like softer
and
to the touch.
It's not like if you drop something on it, it's not like a rug where you're like, oh my god, it's stained forever, or I have to work for an hour to get this.
Dude, why don't they have? Because why don't they have like Tempur-Pedic rugs?
Oh, I would be all over that.
I'm just saying, like if it was like kind of like a regular rug like this, but the core of it was Tempur-Pedic.
The only problem
more furry, more fluffy than this. Like a fluffy rug, but the core is Tempur-Pedic. Then you have the best of both worlds. It's warm warm to the touch, but also ergonomic to step on.
Right.
Where it's like you're at a like a.
The only downside is that furniture will sit on it, like the pressure points of furniture being on it will like squish it down permanently, probably.
Yeah, true.
But I don't care. I would go in for that.
It's like, but that's where it's going to be for like the entirety of its life.
Hopefully.
For the most part.
Hopefully,
you know what I mean? Yeah, that's true. That is true.
But if you could find me a yoga mat rug hybrid, I would go in for it. If it was like a rug, but it had the squishiness of like a memory foam or yoga mat or something.
Yeah.
I would go in for that. Cause,
dude, that'd be awesome.
But I'm a practical
only like an
person.
inch thick, like an inch thick of Tempur-Pedic, not a lot.
Not even an inch.
Yeah.
Like a
quarter inch.
Half inch.
Half inch.
Yeah.
That'd be solid.
Yeah. And so that's as practical as I can be. I have on both sides of my bed and at the foot of my bed, I have multiple yoga mats just kind of
You really do. You've got a moat of you've created a moat of yoga mats.
Yes.
What did you buy did you already have those yoga mats or did you buy them specifically for that purpose?
I don't
see you as someone doing lots of yoga.
I started with one.
Okay.
And I got it. I got it for it was super cheap. I got it because it was a good thing to put outside my tent when I was camping.
Okay.
So I've had that for a long time.
Sure.
And then because it's nice to be able to get out of your tent and not be standing in the dirt while you put your shoes on.
100%.
So that was the original purpose of that one.
Yeah, that sucks.
And then over time, eventually, at some point, I realized I wanted to have. So for a while, I had a rug in my room that my office chair was on, like my desk chair was on, and was also extending out under my bed. So I had like a rug. Like this. It's a very low pile. It's thin.
Yeah.
But that served. But eventually it got stained and it got ruined, and I was like, okay, I got to toss it.
Yeah.
And then when I moved most recently, I was like, I had multiple yoga mats that I had gotten for different reasons. Like I had a roommate, like in the next room over, who was really super sensitive, and he was like,
sensitive.
Yes.
In general.
Like he was like, I can hear your computer, I can hear your PC, like it's whirring, it's making a noise, I can hear it.
That's the exact type of roommate that I would want to with so hard.
I honestly I tried so hard. I got this yoga mat and I folded it up under my PC to be like an insulator.
Are you kidding me, dude? That
And
this guy's like, I can hear you breathing.
Yeah, he
at
could hear
3
me
in the
typing and blah blah blah.
Can
and
you get a different switches on your keyboard?
I got a different keyboard.
The Cherry MX Blues are a little clicky.
I had a mechanical keyboard,
I'm
and
trying
I got
to focus on my thesis. What kind of guy was this? Was he like a jacked dude, like working out?
No, he was
A nerd.
Not a nerd, but he was just kind of like small and mousy a little bit.
Small and mousy.
But he wasn't a bad guy. He was just really he was a sensitive guy. I'm
a hair trigger as a human.
I don't know. He was just very sensitive to noise and stuff. So
damn.
I had yoga mat to like try to be, insulating my PC from the floor so it wouldn't transfer sound through the floor.
Dude, you went way above and beyond.
Anyway, so when I moved, I had multiple yoga mats, and I was like, well, let me do something useful with these.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, I don't have a rug. I didn't have a chance to get a rug and put it under my bed.
Right.
And I don't really want a rug under my bed anyway because dust and blah, blah, blah.
Sure.
So I put yoga mats all around my bed. So when I get up in the morning and it's cold, I step on a yoga mat, and it's like a happy medium between, a shockingly cold, hard floor and, a nice cushy, but high maintenance carpet or rug.
Dude, I remember there was my parents, they had like a cabin in Big Bear.
Mm-hmm.
It was actually owned by the same grandma that made the cabbage rolls.
Yes.
And it was old school cabin. Old school. There was like Betty Boop, like paraphernalia everywhere.
Nice.
It's pretty classy.
Like
pretty cool.
Little clay figurines?
Either like that or
framed
like
pictures?
Pictures and stuff.
Okay.
Yeah. It was pretty old school. But the bathroom, one of the bathrooms, it was I think it was the only bathroom in the cabin. It was a small cabin. It was a cushioned toilet seat.
Oh, like a squishy toilet seat.
Squishy.
I don't like those.
No, I don't either.
There's something uncomfortable about that.
They're too porous, and other people's butts have been on them.
Was it like foam?
Kind of foam. Yeah, it was like a foam. It's like foam. It's like the outside's like soft and plasticky, but like the inside, the core of it is like foam. And so you'd sit on it, and it was like,
that you can hear the air coming out of it?
A little bit, yeah. It was like foam.
Oh, yeah, no.
And so it was like,
that.
dude, there's some bad gases in there. There's some gnarly stuff in there that's like coming out every time I sit on it.
It's like a bubonic plague whoopee cushion.
A bubonic plague. Because like anytime I would sit up, I would think like, wait, if stuff's coming out when I sit down on it, then when I stand up, it's sucking in. Yeah. And it's like, who else has been using this? It's pretty sketch.
So yeah,
glad they've done away with those. But
now they just need to do away with not elongated toilets.
Oh, so you want them to be elongated?
Yes,
as opposed to just perfect circle.
Perfect circle toilets are the devil's work.
Yeah, it's like our butts. We don't work that way.
Yeah,
get out of there.
Yeah, no, nice
oval,
nice long ovals. That's the way of the future.
I agree. But dude, I'm just thinking that's wild about your old roommate. Like, there's some people who are extremely sensitive, but still expect the rest of the world to revolve around them.
Yeah, and
like that's crazy.
I honestly, I did my best. Like I really tried. Like, but it's my space. I can be up at 2 a.m. typing on my keyboard,
and that's fine.
There's
nothing wrong with that.
I have every right to do that. It's not
unreasonable.
Like every keystroke is mapped to a subwoofer.
Exactly.
That makes a different
or like you programmed every key to have a hentai noise.
Okay, well that's a real thing. I didn't do that, but I've seen it and it's a real thing.
Yeah, no. We watched it together. And I was like, that's stupid, and then immediately reprogrammed my entire computer.
But yeah, no, he was like
that's unreasonable. It's just unreasonable.
I did go above and beyond.
You did
to try to accommodate him.
That you shouldn't have. You should have let him suffer.
Well, he suffered. Like
he still probably suffered, even with all your changes, all your effort.
Yes, even with everything that I did, he suffered to the point where eventually he moved out and was like, I can't take it anymore.
Well, it's like,
I mean,
what a diva.
It wasn't only
girl.
me, but I was cited as one of the
what a total girl
things. Yeah.
Have you seen it kind of reminds me of like the special snowflake people, like the people who are like super obese, like very overweight.
Yeah.
and they're like demanding change for like airplane regulations. Like, for example, like they should reconstruct aircrafts so that it, like the middle aisle that you have to walk down to get to your seat is wider to accommodate these people.
Yeah.
Or like fancy hotels, certain hotels that have like wall mounted toilets should increase their weight capacity from like 300 to 500.
Yeah.
Like they're like making these demands. It's like, or you could just watch what you eat and go to the gym. Like,
that's not a popular thing to say.
It's not a popular thing to say.
It's realistic.
It's realistic, but it's also like but it's also kind of delusional to expect the entire world to revolve around your very specific needs and scenario. Like when it's not a very average thing. Like,
well, here's the thing: is you can say, okay, there's a good reason to accommodate people with disabilities.
Sure,
but when your condition is classified by yourself or some other possible authority as a disability, and yet it's something that you kind of have control over,
right?
Typically,
right.
I know there are exceptions, but
Yeah.
typically there's a very simple thing that you can do where you just stop eating.
Right. Don't eat 10,000 calories a day.
Yeah.
Or like I understand that there's some people with like legitimate conditions. I think it's a minority, but there are people who like can't control it, or for one reason or another, like their weight is out of their control.
Right.
Get a doctor's note and be like, look, this
I have a medical necessity for
I have a good reason.
Accommodation.
Like, okay, that's cool. Not cool, but like understandable.
Yeah.
But for someone to be that weight, to be in control of their weight, to let it go completely and expect the world to revolve around them.
To be in that situation and to continue to indulge their every whim of what they want to eat. So just to continue to make their condition even more disadvantageous, even more serious.
Yeah.
And then still demand massive accommodations.
Right.
It's a little bit frustrating. Now,
yeah.
Maybe I'm being unreasonable. Maybe I haven't walked a mile in their shoes. I probably couldn't walk a mile in their shoes.
You probably could not.
I all I have is my perspective. I try to be as respectful and open-minded as I can.
Of course.
But at a certain point, you go, okay, well, you have a lot of things that you are claiming entitlement to.
Yeah.
But your condition is almost certainly self-inflicted. It's
right.
it's something that you have control over,
right?
But you have not exerted any control over.
Yeah.
And instead, you are demanding that everybody else accommodate you because of your special needs.
Exactly. It's like,
and that's
yeah. You can live your life however you want. It doesn't bother me, but it's a different thing entirely to then go, well, everyone should bend to my will and the way that I live my life. It's like, no, you have the right to live however you want, but that doesn't mean that everyone should cater to your specific needs because you decide to live a certain way. It's like, I could have like a 500-pound friend and be like, wouldn't even cross my mind. Like, if you're chill, you're chill.
Yeah.
I don't care. But if we go to a restaurant and you start complaining that like their double wide booths are not big enough to accommodate you, and like you give them a 1-star review on Yelp because of it, I'm like, dude, really? That's crazy. That's wild.
Just go to the Heart Attack Grill. I'm sure they can accommodate you.
Yeah, I bet they have some big booths. They probably should.
They better.
Yeah.
I don't know. You said, okay, if I had whatever friend, and I was like, okay, if I had a gay friend, I wouldn't really need to accommodate them. I would just need to respect them and be understanding of them, and whatever. It's not a big deal.
Yeah.
But if you have that's not a disability. It's I don't know, identity.
Yeah.
It's
just who they are.
I don't know. I guess we might be straying into a scary territory of like where identity and disability cross over. And I don't know if I want to step too deep into that. That seems like some dangerous, murky waters.
I think sometimes people, the difference between disability and identity, because I'm not talking about people like with the whole overweight thing.
Yeah.
I'm not talking about people with disabilities. I'm talking about people who just eat themselves to death by choice.
Okay.
That's who I'm talking about. I'm not talking about people who have any other, no different than you and me, health-wise, condition-wise, no predisposition.
Okay. Let me take the devil's advocate position here.
Yeah.
You can eat yourself to death.
Yeah.
You can drink yourself to death.
Yeah.
One of those is recognized as a disease.
Right. The other one
is very debatable.
The other one is, grounds for empowerment. Like, we're trying to bring these people up. We're like, no, you should be proud to be 500 pounds. No one's ever said, you're not an alcoholic, you're booze positive. Come on.
No, I don't see that happening. But it's just like there are different social stigmas associated and I guess perspectives and filters, etc., associated with these things. And I guess to me it seems like there's a lot more gray area when it comes to weight. Unless it's like the very specific scenario that you're describing, which is just somebody who eats whatever they want. They don't care to make any changes. And because of their size, they demand a lot of concessions and accommodations be made to them.
At the concession stand. I'm sorry. I'll show myself.
It seems a little bit too specific when I look at it and I see like, okay, there seems like there's a pretty big gray area in here.
Yeah.
That I'm not paid enough to
it's not
into.
something either of us idiots are qualified to speak on. Honestly, it's just this podcast is just the amalgamation of our inherent ramblings and our stream of consciousness.
And if our stream of consciousness offends you, then you are offended.
Consider yourself properly offended and triggered. But we've been going for a good minute. I think we're going to close this out.
So we talked about Christmas presents, funny blimp stories, cats, carpet, and fat people. It
was a colorful episode.
It was. We covered some ground.
We did. More than I thought we would.
And I just gave you a nice recap for your timeline.
Yeah, exactly. I appreciate that. That's how this podcast is operated. We're powered by teamwork. And thank you guys for watching. On that note, let us know what you guys thought of this episode. I know it's very different than ones we've done in the past traditionally. Different setting, different background, single camera shot. Any feedback is greatly appreciated. We were actually thinking about doing more of these episodes, like doing episodes like this.
Yeah, just
for the rest of the month.
Season wise, it's like Christmas. We
Seasonal.
got a Christmas tree,
Like I think I'm just very proud of my tree and my fireplace. I kind of want to show that off to you guys. So let us know what you thought of this episode, and we will see you next week.
Adios, muchachos.
Happy holidays.
Fiesta.